Morning, everybody. It is currently 7 in the morning on Friday, September 28th. And normally on Fridays, I would have uploaded my next Resident Evil part, but I'm not really feeling Resident Evil today, surprisingly. I think I'm just going to record that for Saturday and post it then. But I still need something for Friday, obviously. But some of you may have remembered that I didn't have a pickup video for January, and that was just because I just didn't have the opportunity to pick up anything. Well, I wanted to make sure I made up for that. So I've been going crazy when it comes to getting new games in February alone. And well, forgive me, I have a giant pile. And I'm trying not to make sure it doesn't like topple over on me. But we have a lot of stuff to go through today. And I'm trying to keep a couple of surprises, but it's going to be hard because, you know, camera. But yeah, I'm just having a hard time just getting all this in a nice little pile just to put on the desk. Oh, that's a lot. It's a lot of stuff here. Just look at the stack. Look at this. I didn't even count, but this is at least more than 15, I think. But yeah, we have a giant pile to go through. Some of these I've never owned before. Some of these I have owned in the past, but I am very happy with what I found, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. So first, and probably the least interesting that I found, was I found PS3 copies of BioShock 1 and 2. Both of them were only $6 a piece. Yeah, they have the manuals in them as well. I was well aware of BioShock, but I didn't really get to play the first two games. The only one I played was Infinite. And I liked Infinite fine, but I know that it's not the best when it comes to BioShock games. I know people usually refer to the first or second one, so maybe I'll play these for the channel at some point. Because I'm aware of BioShock, but I've never actually played for myself, so I'm very intrigued to see what my opinions would be on this. Also, I have no idea how good or bad the PS3 copies are. As many of you know that the PS3 was notoriously difficult to develop games for, so unless you were a Sony exclusive, your game was not guaranteed to run well on PS3. But the biggest highlight that I wanted to show off was I somehow managed to track down the 2 Spider-Man Neversoft games. This is what I'm most proud of, because those of you who've been around from the beginning know that I'm trying to collect every 3D Spider-Man games, and I knew that finding these 2 were going to be the most difficult ones. But I am so happy. First one, I got it. By the way, I get all this stuff from the same store for the most part. So first game I got on the Dreamcast for $50, which I'm very happy about, because for those of you who might not know, Dreamcast version came out later than the PC and the PS1 version. No, yeah, it came out later than the PS1 and N64 version, I think. And the Dreamcast version actually has better models and has better graphics because the developers have more time to work on this one. And for for Spider-Man 2, I have the PS1 version. I do have a Dreamcast. It's just sitting in the drawer. I never touch it, so now might be a good time to do it. I don't know where these are going to fit into the Spider-Man Marathon now. That's what I'm going to have to figure out, because I still don't know if I'm going to cover Ultimate or Spider-Man 3 next, so maybe I'll start a poll, figure out which game people are more interested in seeing me play. Alright, so this is the last of the PS3 games that I bought. We have the Ghostbusters movie game for $10. Don't get me wrong, I love the Ghostbusters, but I've never actually got to play this one. And I heard so many Ghostbusters fans refer to this as the unofficial Ghostbusters 3, so I look forward to seeing that. I got Sniper Elite 3 for what, $7. I grew a fascination with the series once 4 came around, and I was like, ooh, this is actually pretty fun. So I wanted to start collecting some of the Sniper Elite games. So far, in terms of disc, I only have 3, so I hope to get the other ones eventually. And this is one that many people might not know, but I also picked up Mini Ninjas. This was a game I always had a fascination with, but I had the Wii version of this for the longest time. I had no idea it was on other consoles. And I've always wanted to. I didn't get far in the Wii version because, you know, it's the Wii. And don't get me wrong, I don't hate the Wii at all. I very much respect the Wii. But my issue is that I would rather play a video game with actual, you know, analog sticks and buttons rather than waggle. Unless it's a game that's perfectly suited for waggle. Like, I brought this up in Resident Evil 4 in my Resident Evil 4 Let's Play before, but the Wii version is one of the best versions just because of the fact that you can use the Wii remote to aim and shoot. Like, it has the best accuracy because of the fact that it's on Wii. So, you know, it kind of makes sense why a lot of people refer to that one as the best version. But, you know, I think that's the best version in terms of controls. Obviously, graphics wise, it's not the best, but it's Resident Evil 4. Alright, now all that's left is this giant stack of PS2 and Xbox games. And I'm sure many of you have already seen it on the top, but I found Ant Bully for $5. This is probably one of the first games I've ever beaten. I think I had this on GameCube. This is like a action RPG. Like, no joke. Like, the structure of the game, I think, if I remember correctly, is that you're doing missions for a different variety of ants. And the more missions you do, the more you rank up your compatibility with the ants in the colony. And once you reach a certain rank, you are given a new ability or a new weapon or a new tool that you can use. And you actually see Lucas becoming more and more powerful. He's able to climb longer. He's able to do more attacks. It's actually pretty well designed. So I did beat this once when I was a kid. So maybe I'll do a Let's Play of it at some point. Now, I also have Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, the original PS2 copy, for only $10. Sorry. I only now realized that my mic was so far away. Hang on. Alright, we're back. Thankfully, I don't really have to do any editing because the mic still picked up everything I wanted to say. But yeah, San Andreas on the original PS2. I have a weird history with GTA because my older brother, he had 3 on his PS2 and I only played like a little bit of it. The first Grand Theft Auto game I ever even got to beat was 5. And that was just because my mind was not on GTA like everybody else's was at the time. But I did rectify that. I now have the entire trilogy, or the original PS2 trilogy, on disc now. I have 3 on PS2, and then I have Vice City on the original Xbox. So I now have complete copies of all 3, which I'm very happy about. And yeah, this one does come with the map and the manual. This thing is thick, by the way. I forgot how thick this map is. I was also surprised that I could even find a decent copy. And again, it was only $10. Then again, it's GTA. So I can imagine that there were a lot of copies still laying around. Alright, now, I would have thought that the Spider-Man games I found were rare. But this one might be a little more rare. Transformer. Now, some of you may or may not know about this, but in the 2000s, there was a trilogy of Transformers anime. They were all connected to each other, and this game is actually based off of the first anime. So I don't want to really get into the Transformers anime. I think it's fine, but, you know, it has its fans. But yeah, this is a Transformers game that's specifically based off of that anime slash TV show. And you know, you don't get to play as Bumblebee or Jazz in this one. You instead get to play as Optimus, Red Alert, or what was it, Hot Rod? No, it's not Hot Rod, it's Hot Shot. Yeah. So Red Alert, who's essentially just Jazz or Prowl, and Hot Shot, who's essentially just Bumblebee. But they are technically different characters. They've had existed in other Transformers continuities. I'm just being an asshole because it's me. But yeah, I never thought I would actually own a copy of this. And it was only 20 bucks. Like, really? But I want to cover this at some point, but then I feel like the only way I can truly cover it is if I rewatch the anime. It's been so long since I've seen that original one. So maybe after I do a rewatch of that, I'll play this one. Alright, next little stack. The other big one I'm very happy to find was Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. For those of you Mortal Kombat fans out there, you know that this game is incredible. And it sucks that we never got a sequel to this. It's essentially a 3D beat-em-up platformer where you get to play as Liu Kang and Kung Lao. And you get to replay, well not replay, but you get to experience the story of Mortal Kombat 2 through their perspective. And this is a fun game. You could play it 2-player or single player. And one of the best things about it is that you can actually play through the entire game as Scorpion and Sub-Zero. There was even I want to say there was a multiplayer mode where you get to fight each other. And if I'm right, you got to play as some of the other characters that you would typically fight in a boss fight. But because they already had, but they just essentially used their moves from the boss fight and made them actual moves that the player can, you know, perform themselves. I think that's the case. I have to actually play it again to check, but I was gonna play this for a Let's Play at some point. I just need to figure out where to put it in the schedule. But yeah, I'm so glad to have that. I know Eric was surprised that I finally found a copy because he loves talking about this game. Okay. The next two I bought because I never thought I would find a copy again, and also because people love seeing me get tortured with movie tie-in games. But I have Ice Age 2 The Meltdown, which is very weird because you don't even get to play as the main crew. This is a Scrat game. Yeah, you play as Scrat. The whole point of this game is you collecting nuts, but they still have to tell the story, so they have to weave in the plot of the Ice Ages melting with Scrat's quest to find nuts. Like, the other characters are in here, and they still try to adapt the story, but you're playing as Scrat the entire time. It's super weird. Like, why even bother just... I don't know. Heck, at least in the third game, you do get to play as all the other characters. You get to play as, well, you play as Sid and the Weasel the most, but still, at least you actually got to play as the others. And the other one was Fantastic Four, which is covered by the sticker, but yeah, another game that was only $5. I'm pretty sure this is kind of like X-Men Legends, where you get to play as all 4 characters at once. And I thought that was a cool idea for a video game, and I never got to play this. Like, I've only seen like footage of maybe the first level, so maybe I'll drag in Martin and Javon to play this with me, because I know I'm not gonna play this by myself. Forget that. Alright, so you guys been staring at that pile for a while. Now we got 2 more Disney games. Tarzan Untamed, another game that I've always wanted to play for myself, but I've never got the opportunity. And yes, I've got the GameCube version of it. My particular disc replay that I go to, it has a section for GameCube games, but it's almost always empty or filled with sports games. So it's super rare when I actually get to find a GameCube game that I want. So I think this might be my 7th or 8th GameCube game I have on the shelf right now. I'm just glad they have another GameCube game, and I'm glad that it's a Tarzan game I'm actually intrigued to play. Uh, Problem is, I'm pretty sure they probably have the Phil Collins soundtrack in this. So hopefully I don't have to run into a Shark Tale situation where I try to turn the music off and it turns off the friggin' dialogue too. I will never get over that. That was so stupid of them. And this is one that I've been hearing people rave about for years as one of the best racing games. But I'm not the biggest in the racer, so I didn't really care all that much. But I found Cars on Xbox for only what, $6. Everybody's been telling me to play this. Just to experience the racing mechanics. And I'm like, okay. My most experience with racing games comes from Mario Kart. I'm not afraid to admit that. I love Mario Kart. But other racing games I've tried and they just don't hold my interest as much as that one does. So maybe this one will. Maybe I'll do a little, not maybe a let's play, but maybe I'll just show it off a little bit, see what I think. Whew. I'm actually going through these relatively quickly. Because like I said, some of these only a couple of them so far. The only one I actually own myself is Ampoli. Okay, but these other two I did actually own. Well, 2 out of the 3 of these. First off, Splinter Cell Double Agent. Now, for those of you who are not aware, Splinter Cell is one of my favorite franchises. I wish that the franchise wasn't so stagnated as it is now. But these games are the reason why I got into stealth games. I originally had the 4 original games on PS2 because, you know, PS2 was my favorite of that generation. And it didn't occur to me that these games were much better and more interpreted, and they were intended to run on the Xbox. So I started collecting all the Xbox ports, and now I have them all. This was the one I was missing. So now I have Splinter Cell, Pandora Tomorrow, Chaos Theory, Double Agent, all of them on original Xbox. And I cannot be happier. I think the only one I'm missing for disc is Splinter Cell Blacklist. No, not Blacklist. I have Blacklist on PS3. Conviction is the one I'm missing for disc. And I'm not bringing up Essentials because nobody brings up Essentials. Essentials means nothing, despite the name. Alright, the other... Actually, no, I did used to own these two. It's just that I have very little memory of owning this. But the other two... Well, I have Star Wars The Clone Wars and Tekken Worlds. Yeah, I don't know why this particular Xbox game is 2 games in one. Because it's not 2 different... It's the same disc. My only theory is that, you know, Tetris is Tetris. You don't really need that much disk space for Tetris. So most of the disk space is probably... yeah, this is what the disc looks like. But most of the disk space is probably allocated towards the Clone Wars game. By the way, this is way before the cartoon came out. This was Lucasfilm's first adaptation of what the Clone Wars was meant to be. Because this game begins with the Geonosis battle near the end of Attack of the Clones. And then it goes on to cover some of the other battles in the Clone Wars. And this is also like the predecessor to the Battlefront games. This is mostly just a vehicle shooter. You're just riding around in different vehicles, and then occasionally you get to hop out of your tank as a Jedi and run around and stuff. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure they took the framework from this and then later incorporated that into the Battlefront games we all know and love. So, if you wanted like the earliest version of Battlefront, I guess this would be it. Also, I was also trying to collect a bunch of the old Star Wars games, so this is just another one I have now, along with like the Episode 3 game and the Lego games. Also, a Bounty Hunter back there. I still need to get the rest of those Jedi Knight games. But the last game on the list is Amazing Spider-Man 1. Yes, I now have 3 different Spider-Man games. In 1 month, I got 3 of them. I had a Spider-Man checklist that I was going to show off to you guys, but I want to clean it up a little bit more before I do that, so next time. But yeah, I now have the 2 Neversoft games, the Toby games. I have 1 of the Andrew Garfield games now. I have Shattered Dimensions. And I do have the Insomniac trilogy, but not on disc. So I still need to get the Insomniac trilogy on disc. I still need Edge of Time. I still need the Amazing Spider-Man 2. And I still need Friend or Foe. So what was that? 6, 7 games I'm missing? Hopefully it won't take me too much longer to get the rest of them, but I've made significant progress in getting them all. But yeah, everybody, I think that's just going to cover it for this month. Like I said, I wanted to make up for the fact that so many of you enjoy my pickup videos and that I didn't get to make one for January. I am so sorry about that. Hopefully this makes up for it. Like, look at this stack. I'm so happy. This has to be the thumbnail. But yeah, I've had to refrain from putting these on the shelf because I wanted to show. Because one, whenever I put these games on the shelf, I painstakingly take my time to take these price tags off of here. Because thankfully my disc replay doesn't make the tags super sticky, so they're easy to come off. But some of them have been sitting in the store for a while, so the tags are worse. Or they've been shuffled around at different game stores, so there will be tags from several different stores. Like this. Oh, well. Yeah, like that. Or this, where somebody clearly saw that there was a tag and tried to rip it off. Like, I think I could get the residue off with some baby wipes, but yeah, I try to take care of my stuff because I paid money for this. I'd like to take care of it. But yeah, they just been sitting in a pile in the room because I didn't want to put them on the shelf yet. And maybe I'll show off my I'll show off the shelf in another video at some point because it's actually getting filled up. I'm gonna have to get another one right next to, well, other side. I'm gonna have to move my hamper and those boxes I have over there and then put like another shelf right next to it. I have the room. But that was always the plan once the first shelf was filled up. But yeah, I'm sorry guys, I'm rambling, but thank you guys for watching. As I've said earlier, I will upload my next Resident Evil 4 part on Saturday, but I didn't want you guys to be left hanging on Friday without a video from me. So as always, I appreciate all the love and support. Please tell me what you think about my haul. Let me know if you guys played any of these games, what experiences you have with them. Let me know in the comments if you want to see me cover some of these, because some of them I definitely will. Others might be a little more difficult due to licensing, but I will definitely try. But again, I appreciate all the love and support, guys. Please comment on me. Please talk to me in the comments. You guys know I love conversing with you guys on everything gaming and nerd culture. And I will see you guys in the next time. Peace.